18. We'll take a start. We need to record the session. Whatever. Okay. So start. Should we start, guys? Okay, then we'll start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Introduction to operations management. Introduction to operations management. How to manage the operations. Basically, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about how to manage the operations. What is operation? Operation, basically the daily activities inside the organizations. Let's say we start our operations from 8 to 5, meaning that we are dealing, let's say, and in a bank, we start our operations from 9 in the morning, okay, till 5 in the evening. Meaning these are operations hours. They are dealing with the people, with the customers. So what is operations management? Manage these operations. This chapter is basically telling us that how to manage the operations in different organizations. So the operations management responsible for the efficient delivery of goods and services to customers. Okay, basically this management, any operations management, the function of operations management is basically the responsible for the efficient delivery. And efficient is efficiency. Okay, for the efficient delivery of goods and services to customers through what? Through effective management of the organizations, using or utilizing the organizational resources to meet the customer needs. Yani whatever the customers are looking for, utilize or use the organization resources to meet the customer's needs. This is basically. Further, efficiency is achieved through good process design, effective planning and control systems, and an entire workforce that is involved in continuously improving process and system. Okay. Efficiency is achieved. Efficiency, humans' efficiency, employees' efficiency, in a different qualities, and you are efficient to do this. I am efficient to do that. Meaning, you have the capability to make a positive quality. So efficiency is achieved through good process design. Basically, it's still a process design. Yani what is operation management? Operation management is basically a process design. Okay, that how to deal a customer. Okay, if a customer come with a problem, how to deal with them. Okay, plus effective planning, meaning that a plan that can be effective, okay, and control system and controlling the system, the whole system, entire workforce, all the employees that is involved in continuously. This is basically known as operations management. Input, input, process, output model. Okay? Input, process, input, process, output model. In the input, what is input? What is process? Output model. So if you look at it, the first arrow, input, management input resources. Then the second one is a process, and the third one is output. Okay. General phenomena. If you ask me something, meaning that this is input, I'll process it. And for example, let's say you ask me a question, that will be an input. Process. For example, I am thinking about the question you have asked. This is process. Output will be my feedback. Okay, you ask me a question, I thought about your question, and then I give you my feedback. This feedback is basically an output. So input includes management input resources. For example, facilities, equipment, customers, suppliers, transport, and information. Whereas process flow, work in progress, planning and scheduling, okay, progressing and control, system improvement. These output, managing output, how to manage the output, products and services, customer satisfaction, unit cost, unit profitability, environmental impact. So input, then process, then output. These three process, okay, we are going to discuss this in detail. This is basically the operation input process output model. We'll be discussing now this model in detail. The diagram shows the types of resources that operations managers have to collect and use efficiently and effectively. Operations manager, the one who manages the operation, a bank are basically what? Basically, these are called operations, the activity, the work inside. Okay, so whoever control these activities, these operations, we call him or we call her a manager. So the diagram in the previous slide, the diagram shows the types of resources that operations managers have to collect and use efficiently and effectively, such as fixed assets of facilities and equipment, materials, information used during the process. Fixed assets, any one-time investment. One-time investment is already there. Okay, for example, let's say they installed the AC, they installed the computer system. These are fixed assets. So fixed assets of facilities and equipment. Okay, materials, what material they used. Okay, such as in a company, in a let's say in a restaurant industry, in a hotel industry, in a retail industry, and any other different organization. Okay, plus the third one is information used during the process. This is the main thing when they are dealing with the customers. So information used during the process. The operations function is actually responsible for the output of goods and services that the customers pays for. Basically, the operation function is actually responsible for the output. Yani, for example, if you come to me, okay, you come to me for the operations. Let's say you need something from me. Okay, I am in operations. I am working in a bank. You are a customer or you are a client. Okay, you come to the bank. So the operation function is actually responsible for the output. Why you are visiting the bank? Meaning that you need something, right? So basically, during the operation hours, I am there, you are there, I am there, okay, to serve you. You are there to get your output. Output from who? Output from the industry. So the operation function is actually responsible for the output of goods and services that the customer pays for. Yani why I should help you? Because you are my customer. You are the one, okay, who pays for it. Okay, simply, simply for example, you visit a supermarket. Okay, so the salesman helps. Why? Because during the operation hours, okay, he is there to help you, and you are paying money for his or for her operations. Okay, to get a feedback, to get output. So the operation function is actually responsible for the output of goods and services that the customers pays for. Any question, guys? Yes, Arya. What is your question? Okay, okay. Bushra. Okay, okay, Malik. Okay. There are three types of transformation process. Transformation, yani transferring. Let's say transfer, okay, from one place to other place. We call it transformation. So three types of transformation process: material processing, information processing, customer processing. Okay. Uh, so three types of number one is material processing. Manufacturing operations, mining operations, and logistics operations such as shipping, trucking, warehousing, and postal services all predominantly transform materials within their process. Material from the name. Okay, so there are three types of transformation process. Almost transformation process are in terms of services, let's say, okay, or a production, let's say. So there are three types of transformation process, how they are transferring, okay, or how they, or what are the steps that are transformed, okay, from one form to other form. So in this we have three types. Number one is processing with the material, let's say with a raw material, okay, raw material, kham. So raw material, sorry, material processing, any manufacturing operations, manufacturing, any making something. Okay, so manufacturing operations, how to conduct manufacturing, the activities inside the organizations they are that they are manufacturing, mining operations, mine operations, okay, like okay, and logistics operations such as shipping, trucking, logistics. Okay, logistician is the one who transfer the goods from one place to other place, and logistics are basically the material or the stuffs in a shape of a product. So logistics operations such as shipping, trucking, warehousing, and postal services all predominantly transform materials with their process, within their process. So this is material processing, how they are processing the material. Number two is information processing. When it comes to the service industry, so mostly they are mostly their coordination is through information processing such as banking, accounting, news services, telecommunications, and research organizations all predominantly process information as a core part of their business. Number one, you need material for processing. Number two, you need information processing, how to process the information. Okay, information you can get through bank, for example, like banking, accounting, news services, telecommunication, and research organizations. Information is a core part of their business. Core part means main part. Okay, You need information. Without information, you cannot survive. So you need an information. Information could be of anything. Customer processing. Number 3, customer processing. Customer processing are some of you may dislike the idea that operations process customers, and most people do not like to think of themselves as being processed. Okay, when they visit somewhere else, such as hotel, hairdresser, hospital, or theme park. Okay, customer processing. Yani customers are passing from the services. Okay, some of you may uh, you dislike, okay, when they are passing you from different processing. That operations process customers, and most people do not like to think of themselves as being processed. When they visit somewhere such as hotel, hairdresser, hospitals, or theme park. Okay. Uh, there are different types of transformational change. Transformation, physical transformation. In the physical transformation, there are some activities such as the preparation of food in a restaurant kitchen. Very physical transformation. Transforming, any shaping from one position to other position. Any physical transformation. Physical transformation activities such as the preparation of food in a restaurant kitchen. Okay, the preparation of food in a restaurant kitchen. This is physical transformation basically, meaning that from one form to other form. The food was raw. After cooking, in the preparation of food in a restaurant kitchen. The machining of metal in an engineering workshop. The machining metal, and it was metal, okay, process engineering workshop. The mixings of chemicals in a laboratory create a physical transformation of the resources involved, meaning that things were something were in a raw form. After processing, okay, they, for example, the food, okay, it was a raw. After cooking the food, okay, it's ready to eat now. In a restaurant kitchen, the machining of metal, engineering workshop, plus the mixing of chemicals in a laboratory, the integration, the mixing of chemicals in a laboratory create a physical transformation of the resources involved. So this is known as basically physical transformation. Any physical is something else, physically is something available, and how they are passed it from transformation process. Number 2 is a informational transformation. Information. Okay? Any informational transformation. How to transfer the information from one form to other form. All operations involve some sort of information transformation. All operations involve some sort of information transformation, including transforming data in company reports or research projects through to simpler data processing such as recording, booking information for customers stay in a hotel. Information transformation. The information is transferred from one form to other form. So basically all operations involve some sort of information transformation. You ask me something, I reply you back. Okay, so that's why all operations involve some sort of information and transformation. Data in company reports or research products through to simpler data processing such as recording, booking information for our customers stay in a hotel. Okay, you are visiting other city, let's say, and you do your reservation in a hotel. Information is transformed. Okay, so this is information transformation. Number 3 is possession information. Possession transformation. Possession. Most retail operations involve the change in possession of goods. Possession. Place. Okay, place, we call it place, possession, place. So most retail operations involve the change in possession of goods. Basically, the retail operations, okay, operations involve the change in possession of goods, meaning from one place to other place in retail industry, in retail operations. Plus, data sharing may also be considered as change in possession. Data sharing, data could be anything. Okay, so data sharing may also be considered as change in possession. Location transformation, location, transfer the location. Examples, logistic process of getting material to suppliers or any other customer transport service. Logistic, I gave you example. For example, when you are moving physical goods from one place to other place. So the examples includes logistic process of getting material to suppliers or any other, or any customer transport services. So I think I told you the difference between supplier and distributor. Supplier is the one who bring the raw material to the companies. Distributor is the one who brings the final good to the retailer. Okay, the final good to the retailer. So supplier is usually or most of the time uh, uh, conducting the activities, okay, with the manufacturers, any company. Okay, whereas distributor dealing with the final goods to the retailers. Okay, storage information and physiological or psychological transformation. Storage transformation, where you can, okay, so storage. All types of resources can be stored in some way. Okay, all types of resources. Anything you can be stored. Okay, inventory is stored in warehouses. Inventory is stored in warehouses. Okay, inventory process. What's coming in, what's going out. So it's warehouses. Okay, where you can store. People are stored in waiting rooms. You can put people in a waiting room areas. Plus data are stored on servers. And if you have information data, so you can save it or store it in computer system, like particularly in servers. And every organization they have data or record in computer system. Basically, this data goes to the servers, okay, to the main computer. Physiological or psychological transformation. Physiological and psychological. Many types of service involve physiological, psychological transformation of the customers. For example, medical treatment. Okay, and they are basically changing from one form to other form. Like for example, medical treatment. You are sick, let's say, or you are ill. You visit a hospital. They treat you, and you change from one position to other position. Clear, guys, so far? Malak al-Malki was the last one. Okay. Ahmad al-Sudani. Okay, Dala. Okay, fine. Let's continue. It's almost finishing the chapter. Okay, Al-Qahtani. Okay, okay. How they are conducting a transformation process at bakery. You know bakery, like halviyat, let's say, okay, where they make biscuits and these things, okay, cookies, biscuits, halviyat, these things. So if you look at the first column, transformational change, okay, if you look at the second main on the right side, processing, okay, basically transformation process. So the second is material processing, the third and the fourth and the third one is customer processing. So if you look at it on the first, transformational change, physically any material processed, physically, yani the bakery is converting flour yeast and water into bread through its core process. Okay, yani here if we are conducting or we are dealing with the physical, okay, yani physical transformation change. So the material processing here, it's material processing, no information and no customer processing because it's operation. Whereas in information, yani after physical, if you look at after physical, there is an informational. In the first column, informational. In informational, we do not have anything about material processing. It's empty. But in information processing, the third column, customer orders will be converted into schedules. This thing, yani you call for example to Halwiyat, I will be there at fla time. I want my cake at this time. Customers' orders will be converted into schedule. Okay, you can come like 3 o'clock. You can come like 5 o'clock. Meaning it's scheduled. Okay, this is information processing. Now, customer processing, the next step after this. Customer processing, any customers may need to be informed of the delivery schedule. This is yani, okay, we have an empty slot 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Which slots do you want? Customers may need to be informed of the delivery schedule. Okay, after information, look at possession. Okay, possession. In possession, we have material processing. So the bread is being sold to someone. This could be to a customers directly or to a wholesaler. Yani material processing, yani material was processed. This was the second. Yani the bread is being sold to someone. This could be anyone. This could be a customer or a wholesaler. Information processing. In information processing, when we are dealing or discussing the possession, so production information such as schedules or quality reports may be shared with suppliers, customers, or other departments. Similarly, location after possession. In location, we have material processing. Okay, the bread will need to be moved from inside the factory to the customers, possibly via a logistic warehouse. Location. Transformation process from one form to other form. The second one is information processing. Information will be sent from one location to another during the planning and delivery process. Whereas storage after location, storage is basically a raw material and finished goods may have to be stored before use or transportation. You need some space where you are going to put the ham, the raw material, okay, and plus the end, sorry, the finished goods, ready goods or products, okay, where you can store it. Plus in storage, in information processing, information about orders and schedules will have to be stored. Whereas the last one is psychological or physiological. It's basically related to human psyche, okay, or physiological. It would only be if the bakery made a specific efforts to engage customers that a psychological transformation took place. For example, reassuring the customers of supplying the product on time. It's basically an activity, a psychological activity or physiological activity. So these are the transformational change, okay, and on the right side, these are transformational process. So transformational changes are included physical, information possession, location storage, and physiological or psychological. Whereas transformation process are three types: material processing, information processing, and customer processing. Transformation process at bakery. Okay, table 1, for example, this one, let's say table 1. Table 1 is a worked example that shows the transformation process you would be likely to see in a typical bakery. The dominant transformation here is in material processing because the core activity is manufacturing. Okay, here the core activity is basically a manufacturing. Table 2 is basically a transformation process at a library. Okay, what is this is, let's say, in a bakery. and this is in a library. So the same thing except the product. Physical information possession, location, storage, physiological, psychological, and this is transformation process that includes material processing, information processing, and customer processing. So you just go through this. Okay, it's the same thing. Transformation process at a library, and this is a small discussion about the table 2, that is for the library. Table 2 shows examples of transformation process at a library. The first one was bakery, the second one is library. The emphasis is what types of resources are being transformed and the nature of the transformation process. Okay, this is basically the message. The library is an example of resources are being processed. Okay, basically the library is an example of an operation where all types of resources are being processed, meaning that all or every resource almost utilized or used or being processed. The dominant resource being utilized is information. Okay, the dominant resource being utilized is information. Mainly what is there? Mainly information. But the customer engagement activities or material processing that occurs must not be overlooked. So this is the small transformation. So that was the end of today's chapter. So the general discussion will be there. If you have any questions, so you can ask me. Okay, Malik. So we have 27 participants. How to look the students, I mean in one, I can just save the names. THE, basically home exam. Okay, so you can look for the schedule. Hussein, you can look for the schedule. Okay, um, let me take the attendance. Managing layouts. Change layout. This list. This is audio. So where is the list of the students? I'm looking for the student list. So that, by the way, what is this A? I mean, he or she should mention his name or her name, whoever he or she is. Meeting, manage meeting information, managing, change my role, switch to peer mode. So here is a place where we can do. I'm looking for the option where can I see the the student list attendee status view. There is a breakthrough room view, attendees view. Here's minimize. See height. Even with height, I don't know what's the reason, what's the problem with this. Anyhow, we'll see what we can do. Let's say total we have 26 participants so far. Let's say so Noora is the last one. Because you know attendance is important. Let's say Mariam Ahmed and Noora. So here we go. The name of the students. So we are good to go now. This is the problem because the LMS is not working. So 7 and 0616. So this will be the attendance of today. Okay, so where is the chat bar now? So guys, you have any question or something? So you have any question, guys? Although I cannot see the I cannot see the chat bar. Where is the option of chat bar? This is the problem with the edit my info, show active speaker, remove all rooms. This is webcam discussion. Okay. Okay, guys. So you have any question or something? I can see it now. Okay. Okay, Jawahir, Malik, Al Sudani, Zaid Abdullah, Malik Hamdan. Okay, Afisa, Bushra. MashaAllah, everyone is a genius, no question, no? Rahman, Faraz. Okay, as long as you do not have any question, so meanwhile, if you have any question, so you can ask me through my email. So you just go for further studies, okay? And you can contact me by a single click. I'm just one click away from you guys. So all the best, and inshallah see you next week. Malik Hamdan is typing something. I'll answer him and then we'll go. Anyone wants to go can go. Fatima Al Babatin, thank you, doctor. Welcome, Fatima. Firas, welcome. Abdurrahman Tarsoon, see you inshallah. Inshallah. Okay, Jawahir Al Qahtani. Okay. Inshallah, Malik Hamdan. Okay, I will write my email now. So here you go with my email. It's haseebullah5@gmail.com. Okay. Okay, guys, you can go. I'll be waiting for the last student until he or she goes, then I will log off.